I'm really, really concerned about your drone if you think that you're going to be able to take yours out there, successfully execute a search because there is a radius
Yeah.
and and you get it back to the beach without crashing. I'm worried about it.
Yeah, I want to go chase the shark and see if I can get the shark to chase the drone. And if he eats the drone, even better. You know what I mean? What great footage was that?
Is it already recording to the phone? So if you lose the drone, do you still save the footage?
See, that's a great point. I have two drones. One records on my phone and one records on a chip. So I'll take the one that records on my phone. So if it eats the drone, the footage will even be better. You know what I mean?
For the people.
Imagine that. Just drone going and shark just takes you out. Just the mouth of a shark is the last thing that we see.
Worth it.
Unbelievable.
Worth every bit of it. Every single penny. Yes. Yes. And with these rabid attacks that are going on down there right now, I mean, it is likely that this could happen.
Blasey, you've been turning in some killer content this week. You have been all over the place, as we expect. I mean, we can't hear about all your stories in detail because we know how long that would take. But maybe over time we'll get them all out.
Oh,
but in the past 24 hours, even, I mean, I've seen you with guys taking shots of vodka and crawfish juice. I've seen us instantly turn into experts on shark behavior in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right.
That's what this is. I mean, Handler, this is a flat out
not even that's all just in personal world. And then on Bubba's world, there's just as much. I listen to Uncensored Day. There's just as much hoo-ha and craziness going on over there as it ever has been. So, I mean, do we have a big show? This might be the biggest show we've ever done because we've got so much crazy shit to talk about.
There really is. There's a lot that's transpired since, let's just call it Friday. You know?
Golly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just a few days. Just a few days, man.
Unfreaking believable. Well, look, everybody, we're happy to have you. Welcome in. Y'all may want to go ahead and grab you a cold one right now if you're not already drinking one. Blasey, before we kind of got everything started, tell me this. He showed me this.
I got this as a birthday gift from GM Joe. Got this as a birthday gift. So I got my own glass growler that I can refill anytime I want to take it up there and have it refilled. But he filled it up for me this first time. So I just, and that's got that Belgium wit. It's their barrel roll. And they don't keep that. That's a specialty beer. I'm about to be out of it. I'm telling them they need to keep that. Wow. That's the best beer up there. And, but yeah, so this is, nice. props on this and to yes. GM Joe. So yeah, man, I'm going to have, one or two of those this evening as we sit here and relax and talk about all the good, fun stuff that we've been doing. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So look, I've got it pulled up. I've got this. If you guys haven't gone to it, and we'll just start here. If you haven't gone to it, Blasey at SRB Trojan on Twitter X posted a video of one of our loyal listeners, a huge Bubba Army fan and supporter, and I think all of you guys most likely listening to this podcast know him. WSMFP, baby. Widespread motherfunkin' panic is what that means. And that is Blasey, Handler, and now my boy Fontaine, who came with some amazing drone footage of, well, I'm looking at them now, 8 to 10 different sharks, or more than that, 10 to 15, man. Maybe just circling in a ball.
Circling and running down the beach about 100 yards offshore. Him and another good friend of ours, Chad Ray, it's actually his drone that took it. They were at the beach together, and he took that footage. I'm hoping we get some more content today. I mean, I heard there's a lot more action out there today that looks it's unusual activity. I know people talk about, like, oh, this is normal. It's just sharks. It's just. I get that. I understand there's mating season. I understand they come a little closer to shore chasing bait fish. I understand this is a little different, man. There's just something a little extra action going on right now. They said they spotted so many sharks today. I said it was insane.
Wow.
I'm going to try to get some more footage on that, too. I may get up, like I said, and go out there myself with my own drone. And like I was telling you, let's do I'll run that thing. I try to do it like that cormorant bird that shark was chasing. Did you see that one, JR, with that bird going across the water? And that shark bellied himself all the way up on land trying to eat this bird.
I did. When they were saying, don't tell me ankle deep. Yeah. Do you think they're all real, or do you think Russian bots are now throwing some of these videos just to freak us all out?
Who knows? I think that was allegedly at Grayton Beach again. That was Grayton Beach,
That's what
the
I
same
saw,
place
yeah.
this footage came. You know,
Yeah,
I
right
don't
down
know.
the street. I mean,
That-
if you're walking on the beach, how many miles is it from my beach to your beach, Blaze? It can't be, 25 miles, 30 miles maybe?
Yeah.
From Gulf Shores. Oh, if you go around the beach, I mean, it's farther than that if you have to drive over there, but it's not far. So we're talking right down the road from where we're at. Really hadn't heard anything about it over here. I know they've got some of the water shut down. But, I think it's good timing, though, because, it's an election year. We love some chaos right around election year. They just going to finally do something about the border. Gas is cheap again. Imagine that. We're a couple months from election. But I hit you guys, and I hope you've got it pulled up, Tiggy, so we can see what President Trump had to say about the whole shark situation.
You couldn't have teed it up any better. Of course, I've got it pulled up. I mean,
but look,
it's
but I want to set
an election year point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I want to set this up too, because also there's a movie that came out this weekend, and I watched on my flight home from Minneapolis yesterday, called Under Paris, which is Jaws 2.0 made over in Europe, because it's American voices but European actors, and you can tell it's subtitled in, but somebody's talking for them, so I don't have to read that much, which is great for me.
Yes.
But it's called Under Paris. It's like a Jaws thing, but
right.
in a modern world. Did you see it, Tiggs?
No, I saw that you tweeted or talked about it in.
I've seen it advertised. I just hadn't seen it.
Okay, so so spoiler alert here. You need to watch it, but it's like a modern version, because it's taking into account that the stuff that's going on in our world we could be watching evolution as we're watching it, and some of these sharks live in freshwater, like the bull sharks and this and that. So all kind of time. It's been a while since Jaws was big. I guess the real estate's really hot down at the beach. So they figure, let's cool it off. Let's put out some movies about sharks, and let's hit the laser beams on the ones we've already got trained for the military. Come to a sweet, nice little beach in Alabama and Florida just to freak everybody out, so it'll ease up.
Go crazy because
the Pentagon has a budget. The Pentagon has a budget for film, so I mean,
there you go. That's very interesting. That movie comes out, and then now we got shark attacks that we hadn't had in years here.
And it's a French movie they make, and it's a French movie they put in American and then put it on so everybody can see it on Netflix. And I bet if you check Netflix, it's probably not everywhere. It's just in the South.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guarantee.
Let's see what President Trump has to say about it.
Oh.
So yeah, it became a talking point today, or I think it was today in Nevada. This was in Nevada, Handler, as we've now learned how to correctly.
It is
pronounce
Nevada.
it.
Gotcha.
It's Nevada. Yeah. So
Nevada.
that's hearing.
Yes, sir.
By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards. Or here, do I get electrocuted if the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking? Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted?
I love how he's pro-con
the shark and not get electrocuted.
Yeah, real quick.
He's all over. He gets a little all over the place right here, but yeah.
Oh, it's great. Though.
Yeah,
it's great. They're throwing this information at him 100 miles an hour right before he goes up there and talks about this. Just with any of them.
Yeah. So prior to that, I'm like, how did we get here? This thing's going around on social media. Just that video clip. People are making a meme out of it. Like, it's out there. He does go crazy. And he's talking about electric cars. Like the other day, he was very much like pro electric cars all of a sudden. And then in this one, so against it, talking about infrastructure and how it was they were going to have to remake bridges and stuff because they couldn't handle them because diesels or batteries, they were just too heavy and stuff. He just went totally against it and then somehow jumped into an electric boat. And thus, that's where the whole correlation tied in. He's talking about an electric boat, and what are you going to do?
He's just trying to be relevant.
He just threw a shark attack in there.
He was reading the room, man. He was reading the room.
These shark attacks. Yeah.
These people probably don't want electric boats. You know, electric doesn't work when you live way out in rural America, especially where you're pulling equipment. I was talking to a guy in Minnesota about that the other day. I'm like, totally makes sense if you live in a town and you can get everywhere easily and stuff.
Yes,
out in the country pulling tractors and stuff, that's unrealistic for a while.
Dude, you ain't taking me out in the Gulf of Mexico in a rig,
in electric
battery.
No,
and I'm not against anything.
Now I'm all about a hybrid version. I'm like use the best of both worlds. Yes, all about that. But whatever, give me two options, even better.
I need to go out if I'm going out in 8 to 10 foot seas, which I'm not. But if I've gone out in that stuff, and I want to be in a rig that's got engines, can get me back.
That would be cool though if you did have like the hybrid mode, and then suddenly you shut it down. It's like being on a sailboat. I don't know if you've been on a sailboat and you're cruising across that water, rocking. That's a cool feeling when there's no noise, no motor running.
Noise,
that would be. I mean, it'd be cool for that perspective, you know, kind of hybrid. Who's gonna make the first hybrid boat motor? You know,
if you could run it off that for a while.
Are they?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Hey, what about? Didn't we pass around the side by side on jet skis? Did we see that video? The side by side they made for jet skis. So it's basically like a kick-ass side by side.
Oh yes, you sent me that.
It's got two jet skis underneath.
Keep talking about it. Let me see if I can pull this up.
That's pretty dang. That's pretty dang
that
awesome.
Thing's sweet. Now that's something you could eventually probably make electric and be awesome because you ain't trying to take no distance on. You're not trying to, you're just playing on it a little bit. Now that's totally fine. And as a backup system, if you had a little backup system with a trolling motor that was pumping off good batteries that could recharge themselves, hell, that'd get you out of a bind at least. It would. Potentially.
Yes, it would. That's no doubt.
That's where I'm at. I'm all about just whatever makes the most sense. Let's do the right thing as always, and whatever makes the most sense for the most folks, let's do that.
That's right. That's why we're doing a shark cast today. You know, and that's what people like, and they want to hear about sharks. We'll be Tigs Bits. We talk about all things sharks and food, and music, and Southern.
Sharknado, great movie.
I put it into. I
Sharky
threw
Canes.
this into Chat GPT, okay, what should give me an outline if we were going to talk about this. I didn't save it, but one of the things was bring in an expert, either a shark expert or a marine biologist. Well, to this point, we haven't been able to find a marine biologist besides some funny George Costanza memes that have come at it, which is great. No, not offended. Perfect. But we really, really would like to talk to a marine biologist to get their thoughts about this. I know there's a lot of conjecture and all that stuff. People are talking about it on Twitter that they're just talking, this is part of the deal and all of that. But like you've said, Blasey, there's something a little bit more going on here this year with the attacks. They seem to be
connected to the Malaysian airline disappearing. You know what I mean? They could be connected.
Those sharks came from somewhere else?
Yeah, they just somehow teleported them all here. Boom, and just threw them all on our beach. Because I heard a number. I literally heard a number today. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Who cares? I heard that they spotted out here off between Destin here and Santa Rosa Beach. They counted 500 sharks right here in one area. Coming 500 sharks. Like, dude, that's insanity. But I'll tell you what was cool. We got a repost for Morgan Fairchild. Do you remember Morgan Fairchild, JR? The actress?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She reposted our post about the sharks.
Love it.
That's kind of when it started going electric.
She lives down here.
She lives in Texas, I think. It's where it shows she lives, but I don't know. She could have been down here, but she did repost it. No, that's why it went off. That's why it ended up like 300,000 views. That was one of the reasons, I should say. And then it just kept going and kept. And yesterday, it really lit fire.
Yesterday, it went insane. I'm looking at some of the responses. Of course, Blasey, you posted a thing too with the attack that happened in Seacrest, and then that's gotten things stirred up. And this lady Dixie that is in there, I'm trying to find what she has been all over it with orcas. There's apparently a lot of orcas that are there this year. I don't know.
Why are all the orcas here? You know what I mean? We can keep diving down into this.
Look,
and I do know this too. Like I know a couple of months ago. Well, I guess this was last summer. A friend of mine, Shane Prophet, who is a country singer, good old boy, great guy. He was down there playing Gulf Coast Jam same day we were, and he went down a few days early and went fishing for sharks at night. And he told me they were catching them right out there 100 yards off the beach, like right out there, right where everybody would be swimming the next day at night. And he said they caught 8 or 10 big black tip, this, that, all kinds of sharks. Showed me videos. Yeah, so they're not far off most of the time at night, I guess. But this daytime stuff, seeing that many, whether
it's the quantity that is blowing my mind. It's not just if it's 1 or 2. Like I've seen them really close to the shore, like 10 or 15 yards, just swimming right by. You know what I mean? In that last wave. Yeah. But that's rare. But still, this quantity thing is what's blowing my mind.
And now it's not like this is 2003 and 4 where we're just now being able to see this from different angles and stuff. The people have been watching down there on these beaches are populated enough now. We would have seen this. People have been droning. People have been flying over on all these things, and you see some every now and then of stuff. But
yeah.
If it would have been this many, we would have known about it by now.
Seen in the last 4 or 5 years where you see some footage similar to that, but usually not this early. And I think a lot has to do. The Gulf is warm. It's a lot warmer than it usually is this time of year. I think that's just speeding everything up a little bit. That's bringing in fish a little bit closer. Like somebody says, it's tarpon season. I mean, we don't know. This is why we want a marine biologist, but they make a good point that sharks always run the beach and feed on schools this time of year. It's not a unique circumstance, and I agree, it's not. It is the time whenever that starts, but for the amount of them that are there, that's what's more alarming. And others have said they make great steaks, and we need to hunt them more. And
I mean, hey, it's
take the bloodline out.
Or could I mean? I'm sure they're getting hunted.
And they're hunting, and they could be getting hunted by the orcas. They could be running them off and making them nervous, and that's why they're up here. They're scared too. Running
from Japanese super fishing vessels.
Could be. They could be out there. Yeah,
out there coming over here, and they're going to turn into a hybrid Gulf model. I mean, there's so many possibilities. We just don't know. I mean, don't know.
There's something extra though, for sure. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. They said on Saturday. All right, Friday was an attack took place. My buddy was down there. This is a great beach. This is where I surf fish all the time. That's my go-to spot where all.
So you're out there. You're out there knee deep regularly.
Well, yeah, but with this drones kind of changed things. But yes, I am. I'll get out there knee deep, waist deep, a little further to get to that sandbar so I can make the throw. But now I've got this drone. That's kind of a game changer. I really don't have to even leave the beach if I don't want to. And so, but they said he was out there Saturday. And he said, at least, 10 different people surf fishing. He sat there all day on the beach. He said, I didn't see one pole move all day. And he said, no sharks were. I said, they were getting all that footage and everything. And all those sharks were out there. Those fish they were running for their lives.
They weren't anywhere near them. Yeah, getting the hell out of Dodge.
they went to deep water. Let's get away from these sharks. It's crazy.
What I love is that number one, I don't think we ever said the number as of this recording, and we're recording this show a little earlier this week, but it's at like 310,000 impressions, and God knows how many actual views. I've posted it on all of our socials as well, a different version of it. It's done incredibly well over there too. It's just people are kind of freaked the hell out right now, and what's interesting is our demographic, and I have a feeling those listening to this on the Bubba Podcast Network would feel the same way. It's predominantly men that kind of check out our show. The numbers have just proven that over the years. It's like 80% men and 20% women, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
But did I lose my camera again?
You did lose your camera. Your three little bubbles. You reminded me of those things, all right, those UFOs I saw that night looked a lot like that. They danced around like those three little bubbles are right there on the screen. JR, are you frozen over there? Oh, no, he's still there.
I'm just making sure you're okay. Looking through your Twitter. I'm looking through your Twitter page right now, just trying to make sure I don't forget anything because, I can't keep up, man.
I know,
it's amazing.
Tough.
I'm looking at those sharks again, too. That's wild. Hey,
it is wild.
I don't know who bites harder, the sharks or your buddy who can bite the top off a beer.
Good Lord.
Dude, that's insane, really.
That was the second one he did. The first one, I was like, you did not just do that. I thought it was like he'd prepped the beer, so I gave him another can like I chose. I was like, dude, there's no way you just de-lidded that can that fast. And then I handed him that other one. Unbelievable. Have you ever seen that?
I could take them, and I used to have a bar trick like that where I'd take them and turn them sideways and bite them in half and then drink them like that and just tear the can open. Or usually I'd do it after I pound the beer, then rip it in half. Just do it the white parts of your teeth. But that'd be tough to try to rip that off. I mean, that's not tearing it. You know what I mean? I don't know how he does that, but if y'all don't know what we're talking about, look at Blossy, the One Man Posse's.
I'm pulling this thing
Twitter page.
Yeah, that's Corey. He's from California. He's a tattoo artist here, and he's a cool guy. Him and his wife are expecting any day now. But that threw me off. I couldn't believe that party trick.
I mean, what we're talking about is this guy just rips the top of a Coors Light can off like it's nothing, bites down one edge of it, and
Boom.
snatches it open, and then drinks it like it's a pop top, like it's a regular cup now. I mean,
yeah. Look, I'm about to pull it up. I'm going to show it. Yeah. If you're listening to this, check it out. You can go. We're now dropping these podcasts a few handful of days after you're listening to it, so you can go back if you're listening to this one and you're like, hey, I want to listen to that last show. You can go to our YouTube Tigs Bits and go and listen to all of our shows. We're basically doing 2 or 3 shows a week at this point right now. So anyhow, check this out.
And right here, we have a magician in front of us. I'm about to make this beer disappear. Shout out Tigs Bits. This situation.
I mean, he just rips the lid off in the hat, and it stays on it like a can opener would do, but he does it in 1 second.
Wow.
He does it in 1 second.
Unbelievable.
He
did
take
that
him
with
like
the
a
other
pull.
one.
It's just boop.
If you notice at the end of that video, he's cheersing somebody else with a delidded can the same way. He just done that one. That was the way he just opened that beer. He walked up. He just walked up. I was like, hey, what's up, boys? And I was like, what are you doing here?
Wow.
Whoa.
Tattoo guy. Go check him out. I think he's got his tattoo business on his shirt. So y'all check that out. Go see him if you need some ink. That's why I guess I would do that early in the night because later in the night you do that, and then you try to drink a jagged edge of an aluminum can. I was
going to say, kids watching this at home, we do not suggest this with any kind of a drink. Aluminum can. That dude is asking for it.
This guy's
at
a professional.
some point, he's going to find himself.
Tattoo artist and a professional beer drinker.
He is. I tell people that all the time. My kids, do not mess around with aluminum cans. Don't do any tricks with them. Don't tear them open. I was like, you will slide. That stuff turns into a razor blade.
It is a razor.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Real quick.
Yeah, he was like, I can show you how to do it. I was like, I will never, ever in my life try that trick. I was like, I will enjoy watching you do it. Thank you.
Wonder how many times he's screwed up and just cut himself. Did you ask him that?
I'd have to be sober. I'd be one of my first couple beers to try that.
That would be bad at a crawfish.
Hey, well, speaking about having a nice system here, next thing I was looking, y'all were eating crawfish. And I noticed you posted a picture of our good friends over at Boil Boss and their system to get your crawfish ready. How good did that work? How good were the crawfish?
Man, so I'll say this. Last year, this exact same weekend, it was my birthday weekend deal. And so I did a crawfish boil, and that's the first time I'd used it. And I did like 3 different batches. And so I was getting used to it. It was working great. But now going into this one, I knew exactly what to expect. I knew how to get it ready. I knew how to go and how to turn it off. I knew where to be. Unbelievable, man. Like, it really is. Like, Brantley was saying the other day, it's like, this thing should be called the Game Changer. It really is. It's just magical. So much better. Now I got better. I got to adjust my seasonings, what I'm adding, and my water level stayed the same. I didn't have to, it wasn't like I was floating crawfish out of the top of the pot, how it'll do and come out of your basket or whatever. Dude, it was perfect. Right. And so, dude, it worked great. Shout out to those guys. The crawfish were phenomenal every single round. It wasn't like I didn't cool it fast enough. I'm overcooking them. They're getting mushy. No. Nailed. I did 4 batches. That's awesome. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, big shout out to those guys. I mean, that's the only way I'll do it now. Like, after yesterday, it was just like that's just what I'm doing. That's just the new part of the process. I mean,
my buddy Gil Broussard Jr., GBJ, Guzzling Gil, he came over, boiled crawfish, Guzzling Gil. He's amazing. Y'all got to meet him. He's a character. He will slowly be introduced to this show. We may never lose him if we bring him on, kind of like a JR situation. But GBJ flat out loved it. He's the one who said, this thing, coach, this thing needs to be called the Game Changer. This is the Game Changer. That's what it is. I don't like the name. game changer. It's like, oh, I don't, so there you go, Boil Boss. There's GBJ's opinion. However, it is the damn game changer because throughout that night, I think we had about 100 pounds, 100 or 110, something like that. 3 sacks, 3-sack boil. We did it in 3 sacks. We boiled, bam, sack, sack, sack. We did it in 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes with one small pot because you would get it up there. You could watch that paddle, turn that water on them. Within 5 minutes, it went from boiling to temperature soaking.
Ready to rock.
Just kept it rocking and rolling. And within 10 to 15 minutes, they were sunk. They were no longer there. Hell, when that happens and you can't see, all you see is
they've
water
taken
over
in
top,
all the juice that they can
they're
take
done.
in. Yeah.
Serve them.
Yeah.
And what I love,
heads are filled up. Everything's ready to go.
Everything's ready to go. And what I love about that is that when you drop that on the table, they're not like scalding hot. Like you can immediately start to eat them.
Yes,
they're warm. They're hot. They're still hot, but they're not. They won't burn your mouth.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And we had no idea what we were doing with ice. Now we've got the science where you've got that thermometer in that paddle. So I never put a thermometer in there to make sure I was getting between that 145 and 160 soak zone. I just put a big bag of ice in there, started around. That's just what I did. Like it was just a feel thing.
Unreal product.
Honestly, probably that water is probably still at 180 degrees. You know what I mean? Or something. It was not quite down to where it needed to be.
And look, I know that we may be losing some folks. We're talking about a crawfish boiling thing. They make a lot of other products too at Boil Boss. And the biggest thing that I see a lot of you guys that do seafood and things like that, they have a paddle that has a temperature, has a thermometer on it that tells you when it's boiling and then when it's soaking. This thing, that paddle's amazing for shrimp too, or crabs, or anything like that. Anything. So
Mussels,
if you're boiling
clams,
seafood, if you're
anything
boiling
like
something, it's unbelievable. They have a lot of other products, burners and things like that. So go check out Boil Boss. Go look at them. They have a line of anything that you want to do to boil some type of seafood. They got you covered.
They got you hooked up. Yeah, and I know we got a lot of people down in Florida listening and
Yep.
and places where they where you could definitely use that. And I mean, just for any kind of boil, if you're doing if you live inland somewhere and you do the potatoes and sausage and corn and stuff, and go get something from a
they
seafood
call
distributor.
that an old low country boil.
Low country boil,
Yeah.
yes sir, man. Throw you something, whatever you can get in there, man. I love it. Oh man, here we go again. We need to start. We always need to say food for the end of the damn show.
I know. My belly just started getting tight.
That's right.
I
And
was
maybe
fine.
we shouldn't record at supper time.
I know. I had a snack before I walked in, trying to avoid this.
I did
all right,
too, and it was Kaneka sausage. I had
Nice.
a little snap of some
Good as it
Kaneka.
gets.
I had 4 pounds of Kaneka sausage yesterday in that
Damn
boil.
right. Oh, did you?
Oh, you dang right I did. That's as good as it gets.
That is
Well,
a primo
then-
treat for everyone.
So then our guy Big Russ, who does the shot of vodka with a crawfish boil back, he had Kaneka sausage, good old Kaneka sausage juice in there too.
Yes, he
Tell us
did.
about Big Russ and this shot and how this came about.
Oh yeah, Big Russ, man. That dude. Listen, that guy. First of all, he is like John Goodman. I think the character that John Goodman built in life, he based it on Russ. Like that's Big Russ. He's a real life John Goodman. This guy. I mean, first of all, he's a great dude, but he is just funny as hell. Loves a good time. I knew he was coming. I kept waiting on him because he was out on the boat, and I was kind of slowing down. I thought, well, Big Russ is supposed to be here. I got to make sure he eats. I know he's a crawfish eater too, and so he came in on that 3rd and 4th batch there. And at the end, we were talking about this whole deal. I was like, you know what? I'd like to do some time with crawfish shots. Well, anybody got any vodka? And another buddy was like, I think I got some Smirnoff at the house. I thought that's fine or whatever. And so he went and got some vodka and brought it back over, and we proceeded to do crawfish shots. That's crawfish juice in the left hand. That's vodka in the right. And there's Big Russ to demonstrate.
Check this dude out.
Crawfish shots. You take the crawfish juice. We take a little Smirnoff. The crawfish juice shot. Kicker. Bam. Oh, that dude's a machine. Oh, he said, I'll take one more.
Hold on.
One out of 10, what's your rating?
7.5.
That's a good rating.
7.5.
I might shoot my pants tomorrow.
Oh man. Well, he's not going to cramp up because he's got plenty of sodium in his system.
That's what we talked about all
Plenty
the
of
day.
sodium.
All the sodium we're taking in yesterday. I was like,
Woo, buddy.
Yo, Big
But you
Russ,
just need it. It's good for you every now and then. That whole thing,
It
running
is.
the whole deal with getting all your shit working good and everything pumping. It's good. It's good a couple times.
I
a
did
year,
not
no
trust a
doubt.
fart this morning. You know what I mean? Like
No.
but
I'm not gonna go that far, but no. No, it's
Man,
a process. It's a several step process to get lined
It
up.
is.
Yeah, Big
It
Big
is.
Russ is a cool guy. I've met him up at Props and just a great funny dude. Has a good time.
Love
I'll tell you what's cool though. That guy, he builds. You see him. He's just cool and have a good time. Lives up here. We hang out and have a big time. The average selling price of the house that he builds. Guess what the ASP is on a Russ built home? If you had to guess,
$2 million.
2. What you got there, Brent?
I mean, yeah, I would say I would go somewhere in there. It's definitely over $1 million to be a pimp like that, dude.
You ready for this? Between 12 and 14 million. That's his average house that he builds. All down there.
Damn.
He's down in Alice Beach and all that. Real fancy area.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Wow.
I saw
yeah.
today. The stats came out. There are six. It's went up a steep increase since last year, but now there are over 600,000 millionaires in United States.
Damn.
That's nuts.
Well, if one of y'all are listening, if y'all want to get a house along the coast, I bet Big Russ can hook your ass up with a $14+ million pimp ass spread.
Let us come
Shout
cut
out
a podcast
to Big
there
Russ.
and raid your fridge.
That's right.
I think I want to hear more from Big Russ. Honestly,
we need to
I
do a
think that-
live from Props sometime and just
Bring in
interview
Big Russ.
random people.
But you need to
everybody
bring in
who
Big
walks
Russ.
in.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we'll do that.
We need to do that on the live show. We should just set up and go live,
Yes.
and then
Yes,
everybody who
yes.
you see
That's
that
for
want
the
to have them
lives.
on for 5 or 10 minutes and stuff like that.
We'll put Big Russ on there. Big Russ will hold his own. Yeah, he is a character, man. Like,
Dude,
he's great.
He is.
He cracks me
I mean,
up.
that's the only video. That's all I've ever seen of him. I can tell that this guy. I want to
Oh yeah,
know more.
that's the first thing I
need
saw.
to
So I
know
like
more.
his style. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're already at the end of, I would have probably done one with him. At that point, if I'd have been drinking beer all day, and after we get done, I'm like, well,
yeah.
why not? I'm on cloud 9. Let's take the 9.5. Let's go dose it down a little bit.
Couldn't do it with the Smirnoff. I'm a little bit. of a
I wish
snob
would have had.
there,
I wasn't drinking Tito's yesterday or anything, or that would have been the. But that's what.
But it was
somebody
chilled.
had it
It
at their
looked
house,
cold.
and the house was right there. And I was like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yes, it was
Oh
good.
yeah. Oh, that's just like your
It's
garage.
tradition.
That's your garage emergency stash. That's just something
It
you whip
is.
out behind
Yeah,
the fridge in your
to the
garage
backup.
for
To the
just those
backup.
kind of instant.
My number one eater of crawfish yesterday. So we had probably 12, 14, 16 people kind of floating through there. Dude, but hell, my son, absolute. I had to stand him down after a little while because I wanted to get 3 sacks of crawfish. I had 2. I hated to do it. I never had to do that.
How
by
many
the last
pounds do you
round.
think he ate? How many
Dude, I
pounds
don't.
do you
Every
think
time he ate, literally, there was a pile. Like, he had the biggest pile each time, every single round. And it's funny. He would be playing. He'd be in the pool swimming. I'd be throwing crawfish. I didn't even say anything to him. Dude, somehow he just popped back up. You know what I mean? Like, he had this little sensor, this crawfish sensor going.
You ever see anybody
Him
that
and Noah
lines
both.
up that will line up like the pinchers pointing straight out, the body's fully aligned, and then line them up perfectly, and then like create a triangle, like almost a pyramid with them? Have you ever seen anybody?
Oh,
do that?
as you're getting done with them?
Yeah,
No, I've never. That's pretty OCD type crap there. That's pretty
yeah, that's
cool.
what
though.
Gil Broussard
Taking it
does.
to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I've never seen that action. Yeah.
Hey, well, talking about characters we've had on here, and one of our favorite guest friends and actual part of our show, Mr. Murphy Laird. I got a video. I just tried to send it to you, Tigs. I don't know if you saw it or not. I thought it was on socials, but I don't know if it is or not. But Blasey and I got it yesterday, I believe. But it's our boy Murph, our junior correspondent Murphy, on stage playing guitar with a band at the beach, the bar by the beach,
Yeah, the
near
bay.
where they live, the bay there. They went to the
Yep.
beach yesterday, and they get Murph up. He
Yep.
actually gets a ride from the beach over there so he could go play his gig.
If I'm not mistaken, I think, and I could be wrong, and we'll find out in a minute. I thought that footage was from the Bay restaurant. Jim Shirley owns the Bay and North Beach Social, both of them at the foot of the 331 bridge right on the Bay. I mean, absolute places that are phenomenal and great if you got kids and music and, good food. It is just they got the little sandy beaches on the Bay so the kids can play. You always got bands playing. I think that's where he is. If I'm wrong, he could have been with Mike Whitty somewhere else because that's who he plays with a lot. And so I'll need to see it again. I saw it yesterday, but I didn't dive into it. So I'm pretty sure, though, Yeah, yesterday, Sunday. That's Mike Whitty and friends at the Bay. That's got to be it.
I don't know if
I can't play it on a PC.
Yeah,
I'd have to put it through Premiere
because
Pro and
Murphy's
everything
dad
they are.
is a damn delinquent and has the worst technology. Doesn't take care, make sure Murph has what he needs. He's just all.
He
around
still
not
ain't got him a
very good.
microphone.
No,
but
he's just his phone sucks. It tried to
play
send
it on
to
your
me,
phone. Play it on your
and
phone
it's
right
terrible.
now. So I
This
can,
is all Hal's fault. We're just going to bury.
Oh, yeah, we
Hal
can just
on
put
this
the
'cause
audio
it's
up.
I can just
1000%
put the
his
video in
Later.
to the edit.
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, that's
right
true.
here. So yeah. So
Yeah,
I
'cause
will.
it won't even
Because
let
I'm
me
going to
take
have
the
to
picture.
edit that little part. So I'm just going to continue our crawfish and then bring this in and
So
add
should
the
I
video.
play the? Should I play
just
the
play
music
it
or
to
just
hold it to the microphone.
Yeah, just hold the mic and he'll get the video later. Is that like the bass behind him?
Murph's just playing rhythm, electric guitar rhythm.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
at the bay.
hell yeah.
That's at the bay. There's the dock. Yep, right there. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, this was what we probably should have done it, presented it that way. The whole
Yeah, but
time.
easier anyway, huh?
Yeah, it really
Sorry.
would have.
Sorry, God.
No, it's good. Like, we're trying to do it all.
Look at him rocking out over there.
Oh yeah.
Hell
How old's
yeah.
Murph?
Oh yeah,
13.
Look at that lean
13,
back.
yeah. I
Look
know,
at
look
the
at
lean back. Oh yeah, he does. He got in it right then. He
Yes,
felt.
he did.
He
Yes, he
felt
did.
it.
Murph is the man,
It was
dude.
one more
Murph
time
is
to
the
kill
man.
the pain. Is what that just happened to him. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Murph
Oh
dog. in
hell
the
yeah.
house.
Rock on, Murph. Got some news. This Thursday. So whenever you guys hear this, we're not sure when this podcast comes out.
I hope it comes out
honestly.
tomorrow. Be honest.
It may come out tomorrow. Who knows?
so.
Well,
We'll
it
get
ain't
it to
coming
it.
out tomorrow because I'm going to edit it tomorrow. So it'd be Wednesday at the earliest. But we got to say, man, I don't know where I was going. See, I lost my train of thought. No, I know where I was going. Okay. JR's just throwing me off
We
tonight.
were going to talk
I
about
love it.
psilocybin. We were going to talk about the effects of psilocybin.
Yeah.
and
Oh
modern
yes,
techniques.
that's
right.
probably
Sorry,
my
sorry,
problem. I don't have any, but yeah, I don't. No, what I was going to say is on Thursday's show, whenever we go live this week, I think you're going to be on the road, Handler. So he may or may not have joined us by the time that you're listening to this. But young field correspondent and my son, Riley Salter, is going to make his Tigs Bits debut this week on live.
Awesome.
Hey, yeah, we're going to
Riley.
sit in here. I want to talk a little bit about our trip last summer to Omaha. So just real quick, because with LSU fans and all, but LSU had made it to the finals. They were in the College World Series.
Yeah.
They had game one versus Florida, and it was an epic game. They ended up winning. Riley had a soccer game that night here in Baton Rouge, and it was at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. On the same night they played game one. We left as soon as he finished that game and hauled ass to Omaha, Nebraska. Got to Omaha at 10:30 in the morning. The game started at noon or 1 or whatever it was.
Wow.
Couldn't even check into the hotel. Went straight to the game. No sleep. Drove all night.
Wow.
They got shellacked. And then game 3 happened and we won and all that. So we've never told that epic story
Yeah.
from what
So
all
gonna
happened.
bring him
So
in to do that, huh?
Yes,
I
we're
like
going
it.
to bring
That's
him
great.
in. I'm working
Gotta
on a little
document it.
video montage to put up. I thought, you won't be in there to ask him this, Handler, but we're going to get his perspective on what he thought about the Justin Moore concert and things like that.
Yeah.
Because we also have the other kids' thoughts and perspectives. So I want to put that and clip that all together later on. So just, we're going to bring in my son, and he's jacked about it. I told him
Awesome.
today because he was like, Dad, I want to come on the show sometime, and I just don't know what I'm going
Here
to
we
talk
go.
about. And I went,
Dude, that's going to be awesome.
you've been called up, brother.
And
It's
I'm gonna
time
try to get on. I'm gonna try to be there. Obviously, I don't know about my.
Oh yeah,
timing
yeah.
and
We just
my
don't know
phone
if
service
we just
where I
don't. We
get.
never
I
know.
think-
It's all dependent on internet.
I'm gonna be in
connections.
Huntington, West Virginia Thursday night, but hopefully before meet and greet, I'll be able to jump on and.
Yeah.
Huntington.
At least
Huntington.
jump in for a second.
Is that where
I'll be on
Marshall
Eastern
is or West
time.
Virginia? Which one's that?
That,
University? Is that Marshall?
Marshall is there. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's cool, man. You know what we could do is maybe when he comes on, let's really test his mettle. Let's do him like an Eric Andre style show. You know what I mean? The same way he did Bubba this past weekend.
Asking to marry his
Show your dick!
All right, so that's a good segue into that. That's a good segue into that. And no, we're not going to let Riley show his pecker on our show.
God, no.
But
Oh,
apparently,
Lord,
Bubba got to see Eric Andre's pecker, and he had some nice comments about Eric's pecker, so that was cool. I got to hear on the Uncensored show. Bubba and those guys are in search. If anybody knows where to get a nice prosthetic pecker that fit what you think Bubba's working with, they're in the market. Let me check that off to my list here. That was my 2 notes I had for today, boys. Bubba, Eric's
that's
pecker,
on my notes.
prosthetic, and then the whole thing that set all this up, which Eric was great on the show because I did get a couple clips of that after we talked about it the other day. But Bubba, withholding information from the Bubba Army, secretly engaged, and then so he can't even do the gimmick of get engaged or show your pecker because he's actually engaged. So he already kind of did.
Yeah, I saw in a video he took the ring off and put it back on her. Like, we're already engaged, jackass. Okay, no problem. That was easy. So
Well,
yeah,
she
got out of
introduced
there.
herself as the girlfriend. He introduced her as his fiance. This is before, and he was even telling them before, y'all got to get on the same page. So there was a lot of confusion there. Whether are you really engaged or not engaged? Nobody's been telling us he's engaged. And even as y'all are telling me that now, like I still don't even know what's a shoot or what's a work here. I really don't.
I've kind of felt a little of that myself. I felt a little of that myself. Even when he mentioned it a few times, I'm like, so really, that's something you wouldn't talk about, huh? Really, all the stuff you gonna find. That's what you're gonna keep close to the heart, you know.
There ain't a damn thing private with Bubba. He's talked about everything.
Yes.
Everything. What but that. I don't believe him either, but
he's
I do
a fuzzy-headed
believe
sea turtle. He's here for the whole world to see. I mean, you know what I mean?
Fuzzy-headed sea turtle.
He's here for the whole world to look and talk about. He loves it. So I don't know, but if he is, and it's a shoot,
talk about me.
Yeah, but if it is, he was so happy when there were 8 people that came to that show, which, hey, I get it. I would have been too. That's what I feel like. I make fun of him, but hell, I'm just like him. I would be the same way.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I love Bubba now. I'm totally Army all the way in. I get it now. Why it's funny. It is. It's good. It's good stuff.
It is.
But if it is legit and he is engaged, good luck to y'all. I hope it works. Hope it's great. Hope they're in love. You know,
The
for sure.
merch trick's
Congrats,
awesome.
I guess. But I don't want the shit on me if it's all a work later and it's BS. You know.
You're
so
cautiously optimistic.
Exactly. But we'll see. So Blasey thinks it's still potential. He's on the fence. He doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not. I'm not convinced either way. 100%.
I'm gonna leave the question mark beside married on my notes list.
Well, kind
is a question mark.
Kind of in wrestling working angles types of things. Have y'all seen Who Killed the WCW yet? I know DDP has advertised it a lot, and it's on Vice on YouTube, so you can go and look at Vice's Vice TV on YouTube and find it on there. But I watched the first episode. Apparently, it's going to be several episodes. I've just seen the first. I don't know if there are any more. I don't think the second one's come out yet. But man, unreal, fantastic show, and
I haven't seen it.
I don't
think
think
there
is.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm so familiar with that topic because of so many.
The topic. I mean, and it's not anything
documentaries and stuff. But
what was discovered in the first episode? Spoiler alert! And I don't think anybody that's watching or listening knows it's a spoiler. But really, Eric Bischoff influenced so much by Hulk Hogan, and they were really the team. Eric really went a lot with what Hulk's vision was, which was to never make Hulk look bad, you know, generally, and it just kind of wore out. And that was the same way when I was a kid watching that. Like I moved over from WCW. Really is what got me back into watching wrestling. They were awesome. DDP was my favorite. He was still my favorite wrestler, but he was my favorite wrestler throughout all of that because of the way they used him. He was awesome. Like you knew if he came in, he was going to whip some ass, diamond cut somebody, come down out of the rafters with Sting, whatever. That was all fun. And then Raw started coming in and doing all of their their deal, and it became more appealing to go see DX to me than the same old played out stuff that was almost like watching Disney wrestling versus like big boy uncensored wrestling. It became a lot more cool, I guess, fun to watch Raw and see Stone Cold and all them. But anyhow, that's kind of it in a gist of the first episode. Anyhow,
Right.
I mean, that I saw. What a time to be alive during the Attitude Era of
No
WWE.
doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to WCW pushing
Well,
it.
and all of that on the side was ECW pushing all the boundaries to the full max over there. So and then you wanted more of that in the mainstream, and it was it got into a point where the
one
audience
was kind of
changed,
pushing the other.
times changed.
It was
You know,
just
the
kind of
times
pushing.
changed.
They were kind of driving
Times
each other.
changed.
Well, think about it. At one point, it was for adults to go to in suits and dresses and dress nice and go sit ringside and watch wrestling. It was like going to watch a nice boxing match. Same with boxing. All that stuff used to be the who's who and the dress nice and you wear your best. And now, it's just the times change. Stuff's different than it was in the '60s and different in the '80s, different in the 2000s. Now it's different in the 2020s. I mean, the just the level of athleticism, but just differences in the sports and all. That's all sports. That's all stuff. You think about how big NFL players are now and how fast they can move and stuff like that.
Compared to 20 years
what,
ago,
but
even much different.
Yeah, and how the size and like the wrestling stuff. There were some high flyers back then, but man, the flip and flying they can do now is like what you would go see at the circus back in the day. I mean, it was big top stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
they've taken so much, and they seem to have made it, and using this term loosely, safer. It's still not safe to do that stuff, but the equipment has been upgraded. The rings are a little springier. They seem, to help
all
with
that
some
jumping
of that
around.
Stuff.
That's no way that's safer. The safest
No
way was the way they used
It
to
can't
do
be
it.
good on
Even
your
if they were
knees and
cutting
all
their
that
own
stuff,
foreheads open was better than jumping and flying around.
Bam, bam, knees, bam, bam, bam.
Everything.
Knees.
Can't
I can't
fight.
believe
Dallas says it all the
guys that
time.
are older than me.
I didn't want to jump out of
That
my
are still
golf cart and land
professionally
on the
wrestling.
ground. You know what I mean?
No,
That's like
I
a
don't.
pound
I don't jump
now.
out of the back of my truck anymore. No way.
no,
I don't jump out of
dude,
the back
that
of my
is
truck. That's an
awful.
under and over 30
No.
thing right there. Once you're over
That
30,
is
you do not jump out of the back.
so
of your truck
crazy how
anymore.
that feels so
Unless you're
different, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
If you
there's
don't think
still cats that are
if you don't
older
think you're
than
getting
all
older,
three of us.
because I feel great. You know what I mean? I feel like I can run,
Yeah.
do all this,
Yeah.
but dude, I jump off like a tailgate and hit the ground. I know that things are different, way different.
Knees aren't
Not
knees
even
aren't
try
the
it.
same. Everything
Knees,
else can
back,
still
all the way
work
up to the
right.
top
Yeah.
of my head.
Yeah.
Yep. Neck, stack of dimes, the
Ooh.
whole deal.
Hey, talk about wrestling. I'm going to back up on that Bubba thing. So Friday night, I sent Lummy a message. I was like, hey, man, I got to know what's going down here. I was like, listen, just let me know what's happening. I was like, and I won't disseminate until you guys get ready to release it. Just please fill me in. Like, you know what I mean? I won't say a word until y'all publish whatever you're publishing. Well, that was Friday night. We're rolling, and I'm having a good time hanging out with people. And all of a sudden I look at my phone and it said, Hogan came out and did a leg drop on Bubba. They made up. Hogan's back in. And I was like, what is happening? And I was like, stopped everything I was doing. I was like, wow, this is as most unbelievable direction this could possibly go. I was just picturing them all partying
Lacey
now.
texted me to fire up the live. We're emergency podcast. No, he didn't really.
I thought they were by
He
that
did
point
post
that
me.
they were
I
all
know,
in the
but
dollhouse
he
and
was
just
thinking about
celebrating the unity of Bubba and Hogan. And I was like, wow, Eric Andre just pulled this thing back together. I never saw that coming. And he was like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Hogan. I actually saw a buddy of mine got to hang with Hogan this weekend. They were at a music festival somewhere. So Hogan was at a music festival this week because I saw
cool.
actually a guy I know with a picture on a tour bus with Hogan. Oh, met my childhood hero here, blah blah blah. And it was Hulkster. So
Hell
he
yeah.
wasn't. Yeah.
Well,
that's great.
Sir.
Well,
Now,
I'm
if I ever
glad
see
they
the
got-
Hulkster,
I'm
I'm going to
glad-
let him know Bubba
Yeah.
is sorry. Bubba's
I've
sorry.
got some. I've met a few people over the years that have got to be around him and do different stuff. I know a songwriter buddy that's a big wrestling fan, and we talked about it. He got to hang with him once and stuff. But that was good. That was a good rib on you though, to because you had no idea, you weren't watching Twitter or anything. You had no idea that this just went down, and then they got you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they did.
Oh,
yeah. I was disconnected and just was like
Popping like
I was
no
even
other.
trying to. At that point, my eyes were a little, just late in the evening. My my eyes are fine. I don't have to wear glasses. But later in the afternoon and evenings, you know, it's a little bit blurrier. You know, and I was trying to get my phone away from me. Like, wait, what am I reading? You know, like, is this correct? What?
Oh my gosh!
What?
It would have been unbelievable if it was, dude.
Yes, it
Unreal.
was. But he did. Hey, Bubba did great though. He got up there. He was scared. You could tell he was. I don't blame him. He was just did not know what was coming. Left.
No,
right.
he
was nervous as hell.
Uncomfortable. I
Very
would say
uncomfortable.
Well, which I would be too, dude.
Well, would you not have thought?
Too.
Is there not a way to go look at his YouTube videos of stuff he's already done, so you can kind of know what his show's going to be about?
And that's why he did that. You could tell Bubba was looking around left and right, thinking something was going to come flying across the stage on a swing or something. You know, he didn't know. He was on point the whole time, nervous. I mean, one time he was so nervous, he said, ask him something like where he's from, and he said, Alex Stein. Do you know Alex Stein? And Alex Stein's a good friend of mine. And I was like,
so he put Alex over.
Stein would like.
Yes, he did, but it was very odd the way he did it. At that point, he was kind of not comfortable at all and just said it randomly. It's like you asking me.
Maybe
so
this marriage.
What's your hometown?
Alex Stein.
Alex Stein. Alex Stein's where I'm from.
Maybe this engagement's got Bubba rattled.
Maybe it does.
That whole environment got Bubba rattled.
He settled in nicely throughout later in. You know what I mean? He settled in and got working.
He did. After
he made him put the damn panties on. He made Andre put the panties on.
I heard him talk about it.
Yeah, but the whole time I was watching it, I was like, you're falling right into this, Bubba. You're falling. He's going to sling this and make you do the same thing, and then bam, there it was. Sure enough. Yeah. But he let him bow out of that because I think Eric was like, I think I've made Bubba uncomfortable, and that was his whole goal. But he didn't go over the line and really do any or say anything that Bubba couldn't play off. At the end of the day,
Bubba was trying to be so.
Job with it.
He did a great job. He was trying to be so. He was so into it and trying to be. It's like he was towing that line of like going along, having fun, and being defensive and watching out. I remember when that chick came out. I don't know who she was. He brought it on the stage, and then Bubba just trying to be funny and cool. Yeah. Maybe took his microphone and jabbed her in the titty twice, you know?
Well, it was his ex-wife. Rhonda something.
His ex-wife?
That's what Eric Andre said.
No. She was a comedian from back in the day that was on some stuff, and she's a little older. But Eric made the comment that they had hooked up, and she said that Bubba had prosthetic breasts, and Bubba confirmed on Uncensored that he has not had sex with said comedian lady, but that he would because she was in her 70s and still holding up well. Per Bubba's words.
Misunderstood. Totally misunderstood. Yes.
See, what about me? I've got the Bubba info today.
Yes, look at the handler. What the hell?
I only caught like the last 15 minutes of the show today, and then handler comes in. I'm like, he's going to know more than I'm going to know today. Like this.
The handler's on top of the Bubbaverse. Like, holy shit, we're slacking over here. Yep. Yeah, thank you for that.
The same thing that's happening in our show is what's causing those sharks. That's what's causing those sharks out there. Something's not right, guys. Something's not right.
See, I just contribute in any way I can to this show because I appreciate y'all and I appreciate all the people who spend their time listening and watching us every week. So I just got to make sure I show it with my A game. I listened to some Joe Rogan today. He had me fired up because he was basically saying, anything that's difficult because he was talking with Tony Hinchcliffe and they were talking about the roast. And he was talking about Sugar Shane O'Malley and how just being calm right before you have something important to do. But if you're good at that and you're prepared for that and you've practiced and that's what you do, as long as you put the work in beforehand, it's nothing to it. But if you don't put the work in beforehand, you feel it's hard and then you don't feel like you did your best. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking, man, I haven't turned, there's been some podcasts where I was not prepared and they did not turn out as well as I would have liked. But then they're the ones that I put the most work in, end up being the ones that usually turned out the best. So I thought about that, so I kind of shedded today to make sure I was ready to get in podcast land tonight.
Bitch came in ready to rock.
Love it. Roll.
Anyway, but I say all that to say,
Bubba stuff.
Anything, it's good to do hard things, but just make sure you put the work in 4 times so you're prepared to do them. And you're still going to not always hit a home run, but hell, you might get on base.
That's right. Dude, I've been wanting to bring this up for weeks.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of Tony Hinchcliffe, do y'all watch Kill Tony on YouTube? Have you ever seen an episode of Kill Tony?
I've seen you sent me a couple of them, and I've watched a few of them, and it's pretty wild stuff. But
it is wild, guys. If y'all are, I know that there are some people that are listening to this that are huge Kill Tony fans.
Gotta
but
be.
if
it's
not,
a big deal right now.
It is. I've been watching them for a while. couple of years now, but it's fun because what they'll do is they have their own deal, but each comedian gets a minute, and if they go over the minute, the big Hollywood bear comes out. At like 1 minute, there's this cat that meows, and at a minute and a half, or minute 20, something like that, it growls, and they'll cut your mic off. But they'll get up and they do a 1 minute set, and then the fun part is the sets usually are terrible. Like 9 out of 10 suck, okay? 8 out of 10 suck, but occasionally they'll find somebody who's really good. The juice is in their interview. So then Tony, and then they'll have a panel of people, Post Malone, Joe Rogan, this guy, Adam Ray, who dresses up like Dr. Phil and comes on. We'll be right back. He comes on and he does that. Like, he's unbelievable. If you haven't checked out Adam Ray's Dr. Phil, also check that out on YouTube. Hilarious. But it's this whole little universe of comedians, and it's all because of Joe Rogan, and really moving to Austin, opening the mothership there in Austin, and then starting to have all of these. The Kill Tonys moved from California to Austin as well. I can't wait to go to the mothership. I've looked for tickets. Every damn show is sold out like months in advance. I don't know how when to get a ticket. So if somebody's listening to this, shoot me a DM, shoot the show a DM. How can we know how to get a ticket? Because I haven't found a way to get it, and there's no black market or anything like that where you can go, or Ticketmaster or anything. I don't know how the hell to get a ticket. But I see the handler thinking, so that I do like. You can tell me how to do it.
I think in this forum right now, as I look around the
be
room, I think that guy over there with that big Alabama poster behind him, I think he's got the best chance of finding that connection.
Drive and patience, the formula. Drive and patience, the formula. Passion, drive, and patience.
Passion, drive, and patience.
Passion, drive, and patience. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula of winning. Passion, drive, and patience.
That's all you got to have. As long as you got passion, drive, and patience.
I thought it was a triple P thing. I thought it was pride. Something passion and performance.
I did too.
Passion, drive, and patience.
Passion, drive, and patience. Passion.
We're never gonna have it right, just like he can't say our name.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Tigs, Biggs, Big
so
Tigs.
good.
We're going to be pride, passion, and performance.
No,
passion, drive, and
patience. Yeah, you sent that today over on our text thread. I died laughing. I was like, I think you got it right. I missed it.
You should have known then I was shedding.
That's right.
Well, then that's good.
Passion, drive, and patience.
That tells me right now I'm not going to make that clip. I'm going to make the clip from this. This is the better clip. So I'll scratch that off. Literally did that just before. And I watched our show from last week. Just listened to it. It was great, by the way. I thought it was fantastic. Anyhow, I wanted to ask you guys while we're wrapping everything up, kind of here at the end of the show, have you guys seen on Netflix Tires with Shane Gillis? We're kind of talking about Kill Tony.
Just watched episode 1.
Did you?
It's like he's the new Kenny Powers type guy. It's a new Kenny Powers type.
Totally.
Oh my God, they had me dying. That first episode, oh my gosh, the reporter guy.
Hold on, because it just gets better and better. I've seen them all.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
All right,
it's on Netflix.
And
what's
seeking
fun,
it out.
What's so fun is that shows like Kill Tony, shows like this now on Tires, the Tom Brady roast, have opened up those avenues of risque comedy, a little edgy comedy, throwing words out that have been banned by culture in recent years, and all of that stuff. It's really just kind of allowed some of that to come back in. Tires is not politically correct. None of this stuff that we're just now talking about, not politically correct, which is so fun that especially in an election year, people are so anti that shit that they're turning more to this. I love it too. It's so good. I'm happy to see a resurgence in this kind of comedy coming back. So if y'all haven't checked it out, I know a lot of you have, leave a comment, say something on our social media about it. But dude,
Shane Gillis is killing it right now. He's killing it right now.
He is on top of the world. Have you seen his comedy specials, Handler? Have you
no,
watched
but I saw SNL, and I've heard him on some
Yep.
stuff, and I've heard everybody else talking about him. He's killing it right now.
Of course, He's always on. He's on Rogan often.
Yeah.
And always kills it. So, dude, I mean, I don't think
Tires. I got to check that out for sure.
it's just fantastic. This company
that's right
buys
there.
too many tires.
They
buy an abundance of tires,
Yeah.
and they have to figure out a way to sell them. and there's 6 episodes of it, and there you go.
That's it.
That's it.
It's
Take
good
it.
stuff.
That's all you need to know.
I had
That's all
that.
you need to
I had
know.
that series downloaded and the show I was talking about, Under Paris, and I watched that. Oh, also watched How to Become a Bank Robber, which was an interesting documentary about a guy from Seattle I'd never seen. That was on Netflix too. That's a must watch. That was good stuff. Yeah, interesting. These guys out in the '90s, out in Washington State and Seattle area, robbed a bunch of banks, and they did a documentary on it. It's pretty wild. But that and Under Paris and then Tires, that was exactly what I watched yesterday on my long way home from Minneapolis.
That is perfect.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in oh hell. Where it was now. I was going. Oh, that's right. I was saying Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm thinking it's Minneapolis, isn't the state? Minnesota state. Goodhue, Minnesota. Last Saturday
Shout out to
night. We had a blast.
Goodhue, Minnesota out there.
Yes, the fire department, the JCs, everybody there. They have a big street party they do every year for years and years, and we were the last act Saturday night and had a big fireworks show. It was cool.
Is that the picture that you sent us from the stage?
It's about an hour south of Minneapolis, near
I
Red
sat there and
Wing,
looked at that.
Minnesota, where Red Wing shoes and boots are made.
That Shell station shut down for that.
I saw that to the left side over there. Brantley's like me. I started zooming in on everything around. I said, "They are
I do the same thing.
Small downtown somewhere." It reminded me of something in like North Dakota is what it kind of looked like for whatever reason. And then I was like, "That's so cool that they're downtown."
It is. It went way back like that. It just kept on going. I was zooming in on the back.
The fire station was our like dressing rooms and catering hall and all that stuff where all our stuff was like the fire hall right next to the street. So they had like the downtown blocked off. It was like their weekend city fest type thing. Yeah, had several local bands going that day. It was a good time, man. We had a hell of a time getting there. I flew to Nashville, got on the crew bus, just fell asleep about 1 a.m. Had talked to Justin's drivers. They had left his house about midnight. And then I woke up at 3 in the morning. Production managers wake me up saying Justin's driver's trying to call me. They broke down.
Lord.
I call him. So I've slept an hour or two. I get up and talk to Eddie, Justin's driver, and the bus is broke down and it's not moving. Like it's something broke so bad they can't limp somewhere. There's nothing they can fix and go get a part. It's something major broke down.
Oh, man.
Yep. So then we have to get him up in the middle of the night. And I've got to start trying to get a car or a ride for him because he's an hour and a half north of Little Rock and then an hour and a half south of Fayetteville, middle of nowhere, Arkansas. Yeah. So, and it's 3:30 in the morning. So, and then I'm trying to find him a flight to get him there in time to the closest airport.
Oh, the handler really had to go into handling action.
Oh, buddy. I earned my check this night, the other Friday night, Saturday morning. Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, Lord. When y'all get that new bus? When's that new bus?
And that was the irony of it. They had just talked that morning about the owner of the bus had saw it, and they're talking about maybe in 1st of July. So everybody was excited about the new bus, and then the old bus breaks down.
Then it dies. That's about
right. Justin said he had just started watching Open Range, one of our favorite movies, which is funny because he ordered it. My Amazon account's tagged to the bus, so it showed up in an email, and I was like, oh, I guess he's got that. But we've already bought it. I've already bought it on Apple before. That's how much we love that movie, Open Range. Robert Duvall.
God Almighty!
Justin said he watched half of it.
Seen that in a
fell
long
asleep
time.
in his chair. Went back, laid down. He said he laid down for like 10 minutes, and Eddie was waking him up, telling the bus was broke down. And I was like, "Yeah, I had just taken a nighttime sleepy gummy, and had put on some sleep story thing. Some guy from England telling me this story about, Glastonbury over there or something. And out of the best sleep ever, woke up with just some mess, and
had to get to work.
But I got him. He got a ride that morning. He got to sleep, go back to bed for a little while because we had to wait on somebody to come tow or fix the bus. So he slept for an hour or two.
Done.
Then got him a ride to Little Rock, back down to Little Rock. Got a flight to Minneapolis through Chicago O'Hare by himself. And then I was there at the airport with the runner to pick him up at like 6 o'clock. And we had a late show, thankfully. We didn't play till 10:30 at night. And ironically, it didn't get dark up there in Minnesota this time of the year till about 10 o'clock. I mean, it just got dark by the time we started. True story.
That is wild, man. That is so nuts.
Yep.
I know the other day.
I got some friends from South Louisiana, from Houma, that are out in British Columbia right now doing some family vacationing with like the granddad, the two brothers, both their families, and they're saying 18 and a half, 19 hours of daylight right now.
Oh wow,
that's crazy, dude.
It was the only time I was in Alaska. Now I didn't get to get out and roam much, but I do remember it was only 3 or 4 hours of darkness, and it was barely dark when it was dark when we were there.
We went on a cruise about this time of year on an Alaskan cruise, and it would be like 10:30 or 11 at night before it got dark, and then the sun came up early, like 5.
Wow.
There was not
just
much
very little
nighttime.
dark time.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm bad.
Weird.
I like to, I go down with, I wake up with the sun usually, you know what I mean? And it's like, so in that situation, I wouldn't hardly sleep at all.
You have to have blackout curtains, just hide in your room, hide in the house.
Just couldn't figure a way.
Yeah. Hey, well, I know we're going to get out of here soon, but I'd invited somebody to jump on with us this week. But next week, hopefully, we're going to have on a friend of mine named Aaron Ryan. He's a contributor for the Whiskey Riff media source for all. It started as a country music thing. But I want to bring him on a little bit. We'll talk about, there all this stuff with Ticketmaster and concerts and all the different stuff that's going on.
Man.
And from his angle as somebody who covers things like we cover things, but his is on a whole different level. And he's a fan of the show. I mean, he watches, he chimes in on our live show every week, and so he's aware of our world too. So I think it'd be fun to have him on for a few minutes and just cross-pollinate
Whiskey Riff
that a little bit.
did a good write-up on Bubba on that whole situation.
Sure did.
And that was a pretty cool article. And then I love all their merchandise and stuff, dude.
They're fantastic.
It is unbelievable. Like, that is actually where Hal Laird should be shopping for everything. They pimp out. You know what I mean?
True.
His beard.
It's true. They have hats like this and stuff, dude. They have everything.
Yeah,
everything. They're fantastic. It's
a
hell of a production. It's like the Barstool Sports of country music.
Right. Yes, that's a good.
It really is.
Yeah. I've got some swag. I need to break some out, wear it next week. They've sent me some swag before. Yeah, they got some really cool stuff, man.
I didn't realize that Aaron that's in our chat all. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah,
You've told
you didn't
me,
realize that's him. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I think you've told me, but.
Yeah,
hell, dude, it's been going so damn fast with us in the last 2 months.
Yeah, I texted him earlier, and he was going somewhere to go up to Ohio and go camping and four-wheeling or something crazy like that. He was walking out the door earlier, but he said next time for sure. So that'd be fun to get him on, and we could talk about he's actually from West Virginia. Which would have been cool to jump on about that.
Perfect, because you can chime in on that whole. Where we just deal by the end of it. Well,
and this week I'm going there, and we're going to Ohio, playing a country festival in Ohio that's been going on for years and years. Big festival. We're support for Kojo, Priscilla Block's on that bill, and Dylan Carmichael.
Oh, they get to do their action there.
They're going to get to do the song together.
Yeah, I hope that all works out. So we're going to do
Whiskey.
That. Yep, you, me, and Whiskey, and then. Saturday night we're playing in Niagara, New York. So Niagara Falls, right there.
That's the one
where
casino. You said that you're going to have your wife come up.
Sharice is going to fly up
meet you.
Saturday, and we're going to spend a few days in in Niagara and go look at the falls and all that good stuff. So I should have some fun stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah, man.
We're going to need to talk about our recording schedule, I do believe, here coming up.
I'll be pretty pinned up this week.
Have you been able to check into that unpaid internship application that I submitted a couple of weeks ago? I don't know if you've seen that come across your desk.
Yeah, we actually got a spot open right this second. I think we're a crew member of ours is going to make a change in careers, and but I don't know if you got that. You might want to push you up. Might be a little something to figure out. But it's pretty good commitment. I mean, you'd be gone about 200 days a year.
I'm not. I'm just looking for like the summer. You know what I mean? Maybe till like 1st of August.
Gotcha. Just widespread panic. I think at Panic, now I haven't been in a while. Tigs probably knows better than that. But I think at Panic, there are still people that follow them around and sell cheeseburgers and grilled cheese. Grilled cheese.
Can I be your grilled cheese guy?
Get anything you want at a Panic show.
Yeah.
Anything.
Any opening there. Yeah. Maybe I could take that.
We'll let everybody ponder on that until we come back next week, and we'll see what if we went to a Panic show and what did we get while we were there.
Anything.
Grilled cheese, tie-dyed shirt. I don't know. Who knows?
Ounce.
I don't know.
Whatever
Whippets.
you need.
Whippets.
An arrest record? Who knows? Ain't that the worst? Y'all remember back in the day when Panic would go on those big runs, and we're just beating around, but everybody knows Panic's like the new Dead and Fish and all that. People go there and just do all kinds of crazy drugs and party wherever the concerts are. But I remember that you'd always hear those stories, and I went to several back in the day. They were always a blast. They weren't too much fun if you weren't partying, but they were a blast if you were having a good time. But you would hear those stories every now and then of one where the local police or cops or something just came in there and busted like a whole bunch of people. You always heard those stories every so often, and it'd make you scared. You were like, oh my God, how they would have arrested everybody, right? The whole place. There's nobody. Who's left? Who did they leave? That's what I want to say. Who are the people that left?
Survival of the fittest. The dumbasses get poached. Whatever. They had it coming. They screwed up. They were too loose.
Yeah,
they didn't have their mixture right.
I remember hearing that at Oak Mountain in Birmingham one year. A bunch of people got busted and stuff. And I'm like, what a bummer.
Oak Mountain's a legendary place.
Yes, it's funny you were saying that. I was thinking about Oak Mountain when you said that. I was like, I think that happened at Oak Mountain one time.
Oh, yeah.
It did. It sure did, didn't it? Yeah.
Didn't the Allman Brothers have a hell of a album that was live from there? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't know.
Thinking of somebody else.
I don't know.
Legendary venue. Venue.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
all right,
and they're opening and they're opening new ones, which is crazy. I know they're building a new amphitheater in Birmingham now.
Are they really? I did not know
they're building
that.
a big old new amphitheater in Birmingham, a different area. And then the new one in Huntsville is supposed to be. It's probably the premier music venue in Alabama right now.
Huntsville's the Orion, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, and I went and watched Widespread there last summer, and it was hot, and there ain't a lot of air moving through there. Like the way it's built, like a fortress. It's like you feel like it's some kind of a Roman cathedral type place.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a damn.
But it was
show
nice
that you went to though.
Yes, it
was. The wharf here by me is good, but it's nothing fancy. It's just a cool place because it's down here. It's hot. Same thing. It depends. I saw the hottest I ever went. I went with my wife to see John Mayer, not John Mayer, Dave Matthews last year, and buddy. It was swampy. I mean, it was hot. I mean, it was brutal. It was brutal. But that, and the new one in Birmingham, I think it is BJCC, something to do with them. They're doing it with maybe Live Nation or something to build a big new amphitheater. So that's something we can talk about.
Probably downtown, I'm guessing, because all that revitalization they've been doing downtown.
That's what
is probably
sounded
in
like.
that area.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I'm going to go cook some pork chops.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed it, boys.
Packed, man. Great show. Thank you, Bubba Army. Thank you, Bubba and team, Seth, everybody, for the content this past week. The shows I got to listen to were great. Thank y'all for always having us and hosting us on your platform and all the love. Retweeting Blasey's thing. I know he thinks he really means a lot to him. So until next week, JR the Handler, I'm out. And I appreciate it and I enjoyed doing a podcast with you boys as always.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Had a blast. See y'all.